Hi, I'm Terry Bjorklund. I've been at Salem all of my life, been a member for over 60 years. I have a lot of wonderful memories of the old church. My dad actually was chairman of the building committee, and things started kind of being talked about 6 years actually before we came up here. In 1965 or 66, they got to a point where they decided to elect a committee to actually put together some plans. Some of the things that people were concerned about was that there hadn't been any growth for quite a while. There wasn't adequate parking. There wasn't real good space for youth. And so they talked a little bit more about we need to get into an area where we can expand.
50 years ago today marks the anniversary of Salem's first worship service in our current facility. Sue, you were a member of Salem at that time. Can you tell us what you remember about that day?
One of the things I remember is that when we pulled into the parking lot, there was a place to park. And that was not the same when we were on Central Avenue. Parking was not easy down there. So there was a place to park. There was a feeling of welcome. There was the walking through the doors and arriving in a brand new sanctuary that didn't look like the old church. And it was a very welcoming thing. Do I remember much about the details of that worship? No, but I know there was lots of music and it was a very, very warm feeling.
What has been the impact of Salem coming into the New Brighton community these past 50 years?
Well, I know that part of the reason we wanted to come into the New Brighton community was to get into different kinds of ministry, extend ourselves into a new community. And it's interesting when you think about the fact that when we moved in and worshiped on that first day, that was phase one of Salem's development of our facility. And when I think about those 50 years, it's the next step, the prayerful discernment. What do we need to help serve our community? And think of all those things that have transpired in those 50 years, from the preschool to the youth ministry to Bible study fellowship, all those things that Salem's been able to grow into, step by step, phase by phase.
The ministry has had a real positive impact in the community. More and more people are coming, old and young. They've been attracted to our ministries, our Wednesday night, our Sunday school, both adult and children, our mission outreach. And so I think that we've been able to expand so many things. Our kids were able to grow up here, were able to get a very, very strong foundation in their faith, and now they're continuing on and growing and setting very, very strong role models for their families. Karen and I have been able to be involved in different ministry over time, in different facets, in different phases, and so we've also grown in our faith. We're so thankful of the continuing ministries that we're able to be involved in, be challenged with. And so in that way, Salem is really, really having a positive impact on our family.
So what excites you most when you think about the future of Salem?
It's interesting when Salem celebrated its 125th anniversary, I had an opportunity to talk a lot with Glenn Weiberg about his perspectives on things. And he asked the question, why is it that Salem has survived? Not only survived, but thrived. And he said, very eloquently, that it's because of strong pastors and preaching the gospel to reach the community. It's because Salem has a incredibly involved lay leadership that digs in and does ministry for its community, and because it reaches out in mission and service to the community and to the world. And what I'm really excited about is that in the next 50 years, it's not going to look exactly the same. But I believe that we have so many years of rich history where, as a church, we've done those things. And I believe through prayer and discernment, we'll figure out how to do those things the way the community needs them. COVID has certainly changed the way we think about going back to the new normal, but I think those things will still be at the heart of what we do in the next 50 years.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine, and oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, an heir of salvation, purchased of God, born of His Spirit, and washed in His blood. Come on, church, sing it with me, say, and this is my story, praising my Savior. Sing it out, sing. All the day long, all the day long. Come on, let's rise to our feet and sing it. Sing, this is my story.